Shalom, y'all. I wanted to get on and make a quick video because I know I've heard a couple people asking about these patches, and I just realized, like, we've mentioned the patches. I don't think I've explained them. We have another brother who's mentioned the patches, and at this point it's almost like a mystery, like, what are these patches? So I'm going to explain them really quick just so you have all the information. I'm a super, like, I don't like I have to research stuff really. I have to rabbit hole everything to make a decision on stuff. So I have rabbit holed the crap out of these, and I have a ton of information in this noggin. But I've learned quickly that a lot of people don't really care about that. All they just want is like the summarized version. If you know me, you know I'm not the best at making a long story short, but I'm going to try. But the things that I get really excited about, the ones that I have researched and have all the information about, it makes it hard for me to like filter and just get the quick version, but I'm going to try. So I don't know. I'm sure a few of you know, we've mentioned it before, but I had some mystery health issues. And it got to the point where like I had to put my kids back in public school because I couldn't take care of them. I had a walker. I was using a cane for a while, but the cane became too hard for me to use because I didn't have the strength to use it. I did end up getting a walker and a handicap placard. And then shortly after that, I ended up finding these patches. And so I haven't had to use any of those aids in a long time. Almost a year. But anyways, we never did figure out what was wrong. It was just kind of a mystery illness. It was about 2 years. We tested literally everything that you could think of, like MS, cancer, Lyme disease, like every autoimmune disease, hormones. We checked everything because I was having a lot of muscle weakness. I couldn't walk sometimes. My stomach, like I was super nauseous. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I was unable to have like clear conversations because I couldn't quite understand what you were saying. And I could not remember very simple words, and I would just like go away, like in the middle of a conversation. I would just like my brain would shut off, and I would no longer be functioning. Anyways, so it made it where like we had got to the point where we were trying to figure out how we were going to be able to get a caregiver, and like I needed a handicap accessible house, and I was going to have to try to figure out how to get on disability, which is actually really hard if you don't have a diagnosis, right? Which nobody ever could find out what was wrong with me. We had brain scans, nerve tests, muscle tests, sleep studies, spinal taps, every lab in the book. We had a lot of different tests done. Nobody ever was able to figure out what was wrong, but they just kept giving me medications to experiment with. So we had tried a few of them, like gabapentin, Ambien. It wasn't chlorophyll. It was, I don't know, some blood pressure medicine. Anyways, we were trying all these things. I had pain meds, muscle relaxers, antidepressants. I ended up in psych, for a few days because I was feeling very Job-like because, you know, it's like I've had control of my body my whole life, and then all of a sudden I didn't, and nobody could help, and I just felt like trapped in this rotting corpse, and I felt like everybody around me was having to care for me, and I was just making things more difficult. So anyways, we ended up, my dad called me. He's a computer programmer, and he was like, hey, so I was dealing with some brain fog, which is not good for a computer programmer. And he's all into like the natural stuff. Like he lectures me on the salt that I eat and the oil and the type of water and filtration, and like he's very aware of like toxins in the world. So he called me and he's like, hey, I found these things. They help with my brain fog. I don't know if they're going to help with any of your stuff, but hopefully it at least helps with something. And I was down, like it ultimately sounded like phototherapy. And so I had done enough in my rabbit holing of the health stuff. I had found enough information about phototherapy to know that was a option for me. So anyways, so he's like, you want to try this? He's like giving me the whole spiel, and I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. Like I literally have no other option, you know, like I've tried everything else. Nothing's working, so I'll for sure try it. And then it was like, I want to say it was like day 2 or something. I started like I was able to get up and like walk around. It was at Sukkot. And so partway through Sukkot, like my legs kind of stopped working. Everything started like hurting again and locking up. My blood pressure was acting up. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't able to eat. I had really bad vertigo, and it was like making it very hard for me to Sukkot. And so I got my patches on in the middle of Sukkot, and it was like, I want to say it was day 2. I like got up, I was walking around, I was happy, I was like playing around. And my like sleep meds that they had me on were starting to work, which was like a huge thing. I've dealt with insomnia my whole life. So my sleep meds working was helping a lot. Anyway, so I ended up slowly but surely, like, it was like pain started going away, like energy started coming back, strength started coming back, and my brain started clearing up, my heart started balancing out, and I think it was like 6 weeks of patching, and I ended up off of all the medications I was on with the doctor's, assist. Like, they were monitoring me while I was getting off of all the medicines. Anyway, so I ended up off all the medications within 6 weeks, and we had another brother who we were like, hey, you got some back stuff going on, why don't you try this alongside me? Like, we started on the same day, because it was like, hey, I want to make sure it's not placebo effect, and like, I need a second witness if it's real, And so I don't even think we explained them to him or anything. We were just like, hey, you want to try these? He's like, sure. And I think he's still using them, but anyway, so it was like I started getting a little relief, but then I would try to convince, like, I'm a very skeptical person, so I would like start convincing myself, oh, well, maybe it's this, and it happened enough times. And then eventually I was like, I'm pretty sure it's just working. And so I let my grandma try them because she was having some health issues, some very abnormal labs in a bunch of different areas. And she ended up not being able to see a doctor because she moved states. And so by the time she met her new doctor, her doctor did her labs and asked her, like, I don't understand, because you haven't seen a doctor, you haven't had any treatment, so how are your numbers improving? And my mom told him about the patches, and he's like, oh, I've heard about them, but I'm not allowed to recommend them to people. And so when they went to leave, my mom was like, so what do we do? And the doctor said, just keep doing what you're doing. So anyways, but watching my mom start patching also, she's got an autoimmune thing. And she started going through the same like questions, like the same like doubts, I guess, like, oh, well, maybe it's this, oh, it's just coincidence or whatever, right? Like, she started going through the same process. And then I was like, oh, that's literally just like a part of the process, is like, we start feeling a little better, and then we're like, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's a coincidence. And then it's like months later, and you're like, holy crap. You like look back, like I called her one day and was like, how's your insert diagnosis here, And she's like, oh, I forgot I had that. Which is awesome, because if you're a person who like lives in constant pain and fatigue, having some relief is like it's a big deal. Anyways, so they freaking work, and really what it is they're like, I'm gonna get one out because it's pretty simple. They're just these little stickers. I'm gonna actually put mine on because I didn't put mine on. You take half of it off, and you put it on your back. Hold on, my hair's in my way. And you stick it where it goes, and then you take the other part of the back off. Okay, it's just a little sticker. Let me expose one so you can actually see it, what they look like when they don't have the backing. I'm going to explain what they are in a second too, but for now I figure I got to put my patches on today anyway, so I'm just going to show you what they are. Please hold. This is awkward with one hand. So this is what they look like. Okay, they're just like medical grade adhesive. I'm putting it on my hand. Medical grade adhesive and medical grade plastic, okay? Inside of them, I think it's like sugar, salt, amino acids, water, and air, or something like that. But it ultimately like works it's like the super simplified version would be, it is a wearable, it's like wearable phototherapy. A little more detailed would be that it like reflects, like your body gives off light, like it's an electrical thing. That's why we can see on infrared cameras and stuff. Your body gives off a very like mild light. You would never see it with your own eyes, but you can see online, like if you want a rabbit hole, there's actual scans. You could see that people give off a very, very minor light. And so these work almost like a diamond, how diamonds shine back different colors of light depending on which angle it is. So each patch has a different design of the, I don't know, it says lattice structure. Lattice? I don't know if that's the right word. But it's structured different so that it reflects back your light in a different light color. I would call simplified color, right? And the sun has like every color of light that our body needs, but we don't spend much time in the sun now. We work inside, we live inside. When we do go outside, we're wearing clothes or hats, sunglasses, sunscreen, whatever. And so the sun isn't able to do what it's supposed to do. But if you think about Adam and Eve, they were living in the garden just naked, right? And there's a reason why when babies are born and they have like jaundice, that they put them in a light bed, because the light helps their body increase certain things that help repair whatever's wrong. And the whole goal with these is, I think it's called homeostasis. It's literally a balance, right? Like if this is too high, your body can bring it back down. If this level is too low, your body can bring it back up. But it's like our bodies are fed by light, just like plants, right? Like everything in the world needs light and oxygen and water and food, right? Just like us. So the light triggers our body. Like we have all these systems built in our bodies. And a lot of those systems are activated by light. And when we don't have the proper amount of light, those systems don't know how to, like they're like, I call it bogged out. They're like bogged out. They don't really know what they're doing. So everything gets overwhelmed. You add more toxins into your body starts getting like bogged out. And so this is like supplemental light. Okay. So it's like our bodies were designed to function based on a 12-hour long day and a 12-hour long night average, right? So these patches, you put them on 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Each patch is ultimately responsible for a different form of light that is responsible for different systems in your body. And a lot of them have to do with peptides, and you can, if you want to rabbit hole some of them, the X39 is the main patch. I'm going to give you the peptides and stuff as I'm going through the list, but the X39 is the main one. That's this one. It triggers your body to increase, what's it called? GHK-CU, which is a copper peptide, which is responsible for making sure your stem cells are super healthy and active, right? And we all have stem cells in our body. We're not ingesting anything. Nothing's going through your skin. You can wear these on the outside of your shirt and it'll still work just the same, because it's literally based on the heat or the light or whatever you want to call it. Energy, which I know that word freaks people out. But we're electrical. It's all the same. Light, heat, energy, it's all the same thing. But anyway, so we all have stem cells inside of our body. As we get older, as we go under stress, as we have more toxins around us and in us, the stem cells get like to the point where they're just like, meh, I'm over it. You know, like I don't really want to do this anymore. It's like they don't have enough food, I guess. So with the X39, it helps with the GHK, the copper peptide, it helps trigger your body's stem cells to start being healthy again. And if you remember, like kids when they're young, their stem cells are super healthy, and so they can get injured and it heals really quickly. Their skin looks great. Their food is metabolized into energy, you know, and like as we get older, that stuff stops working as well. So this is great for like inflammation. I mean, really, this is like the main one. If you ever want to try just one, this is the one. The other ones are great, but I would say that is the one that will do the most for the most. It'll cover the most amount of bases. This one is Eon. I know it's kind of backwards, but This one's called Eon. This is for inflammation and stress, and they said it's compared to like eating royal jelly. So if you know what that is, it's very good. And you can use the Eon. They call it the dynamic duo. You can use the Eon to like fight inflammation, so that the X39 can be working on other stuff other than inflammation. We have this one, carnosine. Carnosine is mainly for muscle. It literally triggers your body to increase carnosine levels. And that's something you can rabbit hole. So with the X39, you can rabbit hole GHK, GHKCU. With this one, I would rabbit hole carnosine. It's great for muscles, heart, neurological stuff. This is going to be like the one a lot of people use to like go when they go to the gym, like and exercise. There's one called Energy Enhancer. I don't have any of those. The Energy Enhancer was the first one that they had like created. It was back like 20 years ago. And some people like in the Olympics or whatever had used them, and they all got tested for steroids. Like they all had to be tested because their performance had been so drastic. And they all tested clean. Where's the other one? Here we go. This one is glutathione. Another thing you can rabbit hole is glutathione. That's a great one. There's a lot of different things that they use glutathione, like supplement. They use them like in the medical world. They use supplements, IV injections or oral supplements of these peptides. But our body has the ability to produce it. It literally is just missing light. Like the light is what is supposed to trigger this. So the glutathione is great for, it's a antioxidant, master antioxidant or whatever. It's great for immune system. It's also helps with detoxing. And then just look them up. Like literally just look up online, like what are these things used for? And just imagine like if you didn't have to deal with the like side effects of putting in a synthetic material into your body, or the possibility of overdosing because your body keeps it balanced. If it's too low, it brings it up, you know? It's like, nothing is going into your body. It's just that your body is being able to message itself to say, hey, time to make this. And you're giving it the proper alert system. I don't know if that makes sense. This is the SP6. It's great for, it says weight loss and hunger and sugar cravings. And I want to say there's like something in your brain. I don't remember what it is, but there's something in your brain that like is responsible for hypothalamus, maybe? I don't know. But it's responsible for like saying, hey, I'm hungry. Hey, I'm full. Hey, you know, I'm thirsty. And so the SP6 has shown to improve the function of that. They've done some studies, but they're not considered like medical studies because this is not a medical device. These are considered like health and wellness products. They're not supposed to like treat or diagnose or cure any diseases, but they do help your body do what it was created to do in order to protect and defend and like repair itself. This one is called Ice Wave. This one is for pain. It's a 2-patch, so there's a tan patch and a white patch. And that one is literally just for pain. It doesn't do any like long-term repair or, you know, anything like that. It literally just helps with pain. And so to me, like if you want to, like my shoulder, I had a shoulder rotator cuff tear. That was like a 2-year-old injury. And it was like 6 months after patching, I went and got a scan done again, an updated scan. And the rotator cuff tear was not on the last scan. I had some lower back issues. I've always had back problems my whole life. And on the last scan on my back, it was showing I had mild to moderate neuroforminal stenosis. And then when I was patching for 6 months, I had that rescanned and that showed very mild neuroforminal stenosis. So, there was some actual like improvements in the scans. But like when I would have bad pain days, I would just use the Ice Wave. I think it's France like voted them in as like a, I don't know, I want to say it was like a grade something medical device. Like they literally use it for patients in France for pain instead of like narcotics. And, you know, every time we take medication, it's going to affect our body functions, and everything is so intertwined in our bodies that, like, if your kidney is struggling, it's going to affect this other part of your body, you know, and everything starts to just get like overwhelmed. And so this is like like, to me, this is like my pharmacy. It's like, if I am, you know, this one's not my favorite, but this one is like my biggest, like, I've had insomnia my entire life. Like, this one literally tells your body, hey, time to make melatonin. Okay. And like, I've been a person that took medication my whole life for sleep, and it didn't really work. But like, you know, if you take melatonin, it like, almost, if you're like taking a supplement, it's like your body's like, hey, we don't have to make melatonin because we're just gonna get it, you know. And so this is saying, hey body, time to make melatonin. There's no like, I get really hungover feeling if I take melatonin. So this is not that. It doesn't make you groggy. It doesn't make you like knock out like sleep meds. It just like, you just lay there, and then eventually you get tired and you can go to sleep. And then when you do sleep, you sleep really good. Anyways, so there is a website. I'm going to put the link in the description so you can get to it. But I recommend, like, it to me, these literally like saved, not only like changed my life, but also saved it. Because now I'm homeschooling again, I'm homesteading again, I'm gardening, I have my cleaning business going again. I'm not 100% better. Like, I still have the labrum tear in the back of my shoulder. I still have some back problems. And every once in a while I feel like, oh, maybe I'm in a health flare, but it's so minor that it's almost unrecognizable because it was so dramatic before that I'm not sure how to like tell when it's just a minor like feeling. So I'll be like, oh, why am I so tired? And it's like, oh, you're probably in a health flare. That makes sense. So anyways, I know that it's like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be a mystery. It's just technically I sell them, and that is uncomfortable for me. I'm not the best, like, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to try to like sell you on something. I just want to explain them, and so you can make a decision about if you think you want to try them. I am a huge advocate of these. I think that there's been, like, I have experienced many people's testimonies, like, watch them go through progress, and have a whole bunch of like problems be assisted with these. And I had a really dramatic experience, like really awesome experience with them. So I'm not one to want to sell things, but these I will, because I think everybody should use them. But like I said, I don't want to be a salesperson. I literally just want to explain what they are. And you can, if you're like a super salesperson, you can like join as a brand partner and sell to everybody. Like, if you have a huge group of like friggin' natural people or whatever, like, you can go, or if you were a gym buff, you can go sell these all. You can make a big old team. You can make a ton of money if you want. If you're not into that, you can just, like, there's a preferred customer option. It says, they say to use the X39 for at least for 1 month out of 10 per 10 years of your life before you like make your judgment on it or whatever. And so if you are going to do that, you can just do the preferred customer, which means you have it on auto ship, and you can cancel that at any time. And if you do the preferred plus customer, you'll get like little sample packs of all the other patches. So if you did like a month of X39 on auto ship, you would I think that's like a $25 annual charge or something for that title. But they will send you like a 10-pack of Eon 1 month, and then another month they'll send you a 10-pack of Silent Nights, and so you'll get to kind of sample all the patches. And then you can also just go the retail customer route where you just go buy them, and there's no like, you're just like, I just want to try them out. I personally use, like, I used to use almost every one of them all the time, like every day, because I was in so much pain, because I had so much fatigue. I was using the energy enhancer and the ice wave and the friggin' X39 and I felt like I had neurological problems. I had muscle problems. I had heart problems. I had all these all these issues. So I was using every patch all the time. Now I use the X39, Eon, and Silent Nights daily. But like some days, if I have a cold, I'll use the glutathione. Or if I'm having digestive stuff, I'll use the SP6. Or if I'm going to go clean houses, I'll use the carnosine. Like I use it almost as like energy drinks, ibuprofen, and you know what I mean? Like I use them as needed. But they're really, really like good. So every once in a while, if I realize it's been too long and I haven't got sick, I'll just use the glutathione for a couple days anyways. But anyways, my point here is that if you have questions, you can let me know. I have rabbit holed the crap out of these. And it's not witchcraft. It's not a mystery. It's not snake oil. It's just literally light. It's just supplemental light. And there's a couple different ways you can order them, but, I think that like I want to be Oprah. I don't wish I was Oprah. I take that back. But if I was Oprah, I would just be throwing out patches like to everybody. Because it's really hard when you see people that are struggling with certain things and like they can't afford them and you're just like, I wish I could just throw packs of patches at you, you know? But if you are able, like you could be somebody who's already healthy and it will still help. Like it'll still help with energy. It'll still help with strength. It'll still help with your skin and your hair. And there's people who have literally had their hair colors change from using them. So like, you know, like when you go out in the sun a lot and your hair gets lighter, or like there's people who have had like a full head of gray and some of their hair like started darkening again, or people with like receding hairlines that like started filling in. Because your stem cells in your body are responsible for all of that. So as you like tend to the health of your stem cells, like they start functioning and helping in all the areas. There's tons of athletes that use these. I want to say the Chiefs, maybe. I know a couple people, I think it's the Chiefs that use them. A couple like of the Olympic people, swimmers. They were originally created for, I don't know, Navy SEALs or something. The people in the submarines that had to go down for a long time, and they were trying to fight the like stimulant use to stay up and be alert. And so they had a bunch of people come out and like experiment with all these different things, and this guy ended up creating the energy enhancer patch. And then once he got that down and he realized like the system, it's like the diamonds, you know, like I was saying, you have the different angles of each of the diamond puts off different colors of light, and each color of light is responsible for triggering a different system that we already have built into our bodies. So anyways, if you have questions, let me know. If you have like a certain problem, and you're curious about like how these have helped maybe other people, like their testimonies, let me know, and I can email you some testimonies about that specific thing. But yeah, that's the patches. It's not a big mystery. It's just light. It's just supplemental light, wearable phototherapy. And it helps. Like, it really does help. The only thing is, like, just make sure you stay super hydrated. You know what I mean? Like, stay super hydrated, get plenty of electrolytes, because every cell, like, all the blood, everything in your body needs proper hydration and electrolytes to function properly. So that you can use with the X39. They have, like, a liquid chlorophyll drop that you add to your water, which helps with the copper peptide. And then like a bunch of these peptides need certain proteins to like connect them. So just make sure you're getting plenty of protein. And other than that, I mean, if you're already like somebody who hydrates and drinks electrolytes and eats vegetables and meat, then you're probably good. But yeah, that's it. I will talk to you later. I figure we just have this here. If it ever comes up, we just send them here, and I don't have to have the conversation with every single person because it's very uncomfortable for me. But yeah, I'm going to share the link in the description so you can easily find it, and I will keep this video up, and hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps explain them. So I will see you guys at another day, probably Shabbat, which is part of the reason I made this video, is because it always comes up on Shabbat when we do our lives, and I can't work on Shabbat, so like going into detail about what they are and how they work and all that is not a Shabbat conversation. So today is not Shabbat, so you get the video today. Shalom, y'all.